I do want to get to some of the other big stories here that we have been following on Live Now from Fox. Take a look at your screen there. The latest on the search for that missing submersible carrying 5 people to the wreckage of the Titanic. That search now passing the critical 96-hour mark when breathable air could have run out. Chris Brown, a modern-day explorer, had put down his deposit but wound up dropping out of that trip. Chris joins us now live to talk more about that. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Good morning.
Good morning. So first off, what has been going through your mind over the past several days as you have watched all of this kind of play out?
The only thing that's going through my mind is hope that they can rescue these guys. It's 5. We need to rescue them, and then as much for the family and friends of those who are trapped. It's possibly harder for them because they just have no comprehension of what it's like to be in that situation, and they just don't know. It must be horrible.
Explain to me, if you can, what made you decide at the end there not to go on the trip? What was it about the situation that prevented you from going?
It was a culmination of things all taken together. When you pay a deposit on a high-ticket item like this, it's normal to pay a nominal deposit, and then you add to that as the company reaches milestones, because it's an experimental sub. They continuously missed those milestones. So they weren't reaching the depths that they had said that they would. And including right at the end of 2018, supposed to be diving in June of 2019, they hadn't even got down to 300 meters, bearing in mind that the wreck's at 3,800 meters. I'd seen the vessel during testing in the Bahamas, and they were using construction piping for ballast. The control of the vehicle is made with like an Xbox controller. The lighting inside was something that you'd see in a DIY shop. It just came across to me that they were, making good use of materials, but just kind of cutting corners. If an Xbox controller works for it and it's an ideal solution, why not improve on it and just make it a little bit more robust? They had a lightning strike and took out the electronics during the testing, which ended the testing. Now, those things happen, but my immediate thoughts there, well, where's the redundancy? If all the electronics are taken out, surely there's a redundancy system that could take over. That didn't seem to exist, not on the boat, but also not on the support vessels. And the thing that kind of clinched it for me was it became evident that the company wasn't going to seek certification for going down to those depths. Using new materials here, we're using carbon fiber, not steel and iron, which is normal, but also that they didn't intend to seek that certification, not for going down once, but for going down multiple times.
What is it that is so, I guess, alluring about a trip like this, to go down to the bottom of the ocean there and see the Titanic wreckage? What is it about that made you want to go?
Well, it's not just going down. It's not just a tourism thing. The idea of the missions was to do a 3D scan of the wreckage. Then you would go down in a few years' time and take another 3D scan so that you could see what parts of the wreck were deteriorating, so that you could then take steps to preserve the wreck.
So your friend Hamish Harding is one of the men on board the submersible. Tell me a little bit about Hamish and who he is.
I met Hamish when we went to the South Pole in 2016. He's an extremely amiable guy, not easily flustered, very calm, fiercely intelligent. He's the kind of asset that if you're going to be in a situation like that, you'd be looking to him. He'll be calming people down. He'll have been going through all sorts of permutation combinations on how you could get out there. He'd be advising the fellow passengers on behaviour. But there's other 2 more experienced explorers in there as well. It's a sign of Hamish's attitude that when we got to the South Pole, we were there with your astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who took ill due to low oxygen. Hamish forewent his chance to visit the pole itself and take all these photos and everything like that. He spent all of his time looking after Buzz and didn't actually get to the pole. He's a team player in that manner.
Now, in your opinion and based on what you've seen, do you believe that a rescue is going to happen, that a rescue is possible at this point?
That's a slightly unfair question. Whilst the rescue operation is still going on, friends and family are still hopeful of finding these guys, as am I. Obviously, time is against them. You never give up hope. I mean, survival is a natural human instinct. And may I bring your attention to, you remember those football guys in Thailand who were trapped in the cave? Everybody had given up on them, yet they were found and eventually rescued. There's always hope. It's getting slighter, but there's always hope.
And there is always hope, for sure. As you mentioned, there is that one story that we did cover right there where they did make that rescue. And as you mentioned, a lot of people had given up hope, but they were found safe there. Now, in the future, do you have any, I guess, drive, any thought about going down to the bottom of the ocean again in another submersible? Is that something that has crossed your mind? Has this changed anything for you as you are, as we mentioned, a modern day explorer?
It's taught me to trust my instincts on risk and risk mitigation. I've been to some pretty dangerous places. I've been in some quite sketchy situations. But in each of those, I've been able to mitigate the risks in different manners by using experts, special equipment, or even just changing dates of things to make it easier to happen. So I'll be trusting my instincts. Will it stop me going down deep? No. Just recently, I'd been offered the chance to go to Challenger Deep, but that was in a vessel that's certified. It had been down there several times. It was going through regular checks. And that's the kind of people that you put your faith in for risks that you can't look after yourself.
Are you surprised to see everything that has come out with some of the employees who have come forward of OceanGate and said that, they weren't following the safety measures and this wasn't an appropriate craft to go down there? Is that surprising based on what you did see when you looked at that submersible?
Sadly not. Was totally unaware of these views because it was all going on at the same time, 2018. I find it quite poor that that information didn't come out into the public sphere at that time. There's going to be an investigation after this, but let's for now just concentrate on trying to find these guys. Who, why, where, what, when. That'll take care of itself in the future.
For sure. Chris Brown, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. Is there anything else that you want to add before I let you go?
No, it's just that everybody's prayers be with their friends and family.
For sure. Thank you again for taking the time to join us here.
Thank you.